Welcome, Leo. This is your monthly focus for July 2016. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly. And before we begin, thank you. Thank you so much for all the positive, beautiful, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. Back at you. Thank you so much, truly. Now, this morning when I was meditating, I came up with a new way to lay out the cards for the monthlies. So we're going to try them out. I already kind of like it. I've already named two positions as the sun cards. So that you have a visual here of what I've got in front of me, I have your first card that we pull, and it's Judgment. So this is really the flavor with all the cards combined. We still have to go back to the first card. The first card is so important in the energy, but like the month, okay, we have the sun coming in and finishing off its last half of its journey in one sign, and then mid-month, the sun goes into a new sign, which is, well, your sign. So happy birthday ahead of time. So I've got one here leading us into the month, and then I've got one at the end leading us out of the month and into next month. Then I've got three columns of four, okay, representing the beginning of the week, middle of the week, or beginning of the month, middle of the month, end of the month. Let's get this right. We're doing monthlies here. And I think this one would be too encumbersome to do as a weekly because you get a lot of information here. And then I have your general energy, love, relationships, work, career, spirituality, your health and well-being, and then of course we go out with our other sun card into next month. So I don't see any transformation cards, but I see a lot of beauty. I see a lot of new energy. I see a lot of rebirth. I see a lot of new dreams, love, paths opening up to you, wisdom coming to you. We start, of course, with the Judgment card. Do I see anything negative? There's one that you could construe as negative, but I highly doubt it comes across as negative. I think it's a beautiful month for you. We start with Judgment. So it will be a beautiful month if you do not jump to conclusions. If you go the long way about doing everything. You don't try and take shortcuts. You use sound judgment in all of your dealings, all of your actions. Because this is the month where, at least as we go into the month, to mid-month, it's about having strong judgments about what you need to do. The reality checks. Knowing that you have done all that you can do. And then moving on from that space, okay? Realizing you've done all that you can do, and what you can do, you're doing. You're moving towards it. You're devising a plan. And you're not just going to sweep it under the carpet and hope it disappears. You're going to deal with it. You're going to look at it head on. Know what you have to do going forward. Being strong in your judgment. Not a month to buy into gossip. Not a month to start gossip. Research anything that you hear. Don't jump to conclusions on things. For our general focus, our first card, so at the beginning of the month, we walk into the month with the Empress energy. So beautiful, new beginnings, creative energy. So you're going to start to feel like you've got this again. You're going to feel like new beginnings can happen. You're going to feel the passions and the dreams come into play again. The ones that have stalled out. The ones that you just came into thinking about. And as we move forward in the month to the middle of the month, we have the Eight of Cups. And this opens up new paths. So the Empress is the energy, the new beginnings, the creative energy coming in, the new thoughts, the new plans, the new purpose. As we hit the middle of the month, we see how our lives need to change in order to actually walk into this energy. And it's comparable to the young child that grows to adulthood and leaves the parental home. And so they're not closing the door on the home, but it is changing in its appearance. I'm so sorry for that. I didn't realize it was on. In its appearance. So where we used to get love and affection and security in one way out of the parental home, we don't close the door on it, we move forward. And know that we can turn back, but it has new meaning, new symbolization for us. And so we have to realize that there are things that we need to let go of here in order to walk into the new beginnings, in order to walk forward into our dreams, our desires, what we want to accomplish, who we want to become. So it probably is a little bit of a sobering energy, actually. And that could be right around the full moon time as well. So it is about moving the energy out, not carrying the baggage forward. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles towards the end of the month, the last week of the month, maybe going into next month. Hard work. We know we have to work hard for our dreams. We have to put our best foot forward. We have to also take stock in what we can accomplish. Our talents, our gifts, our abilities. Know that we have what it takes. Knowing that if we truly stepped up to the plate, what we could actually accomplish, what we could do, what we could grow, who we could become. So it's raising the bar on ourselves, on our ideal of what needs to be in our future, of what we create. And we know it's going to be hard work. And the hard work starts here, I think. Now, for love, we start off with the Nine of Cups, and this is the dreams, the wishes, the desires of love. We want love and the feeling of love. We're probably attracting love. Our vibration is pixie dust around us. Feeling good about ourselves, feeling good about who we are, what we are creating when it comes to relationships, who we are within a relationship, what we bring to the table. This could be a fantasy, a new beginning of a fantasy, because we have the Empress to lean back on. And so long as we're using sound judgment here, we got to remember the Judgment card. We could walk into some beautiful new beginnings, or at least we have the realization for what we are entitled to. This is seeing the picture of what we truly want and desire when it comes to relationships, what a relationship means to us, and touching into that energy within ourselves. The Seven of Pentacles is mid-month, so what are we cultivating in relationships? Now that we know the magic tingle we want to feel, how do we go about actually incorporating the magic tingle into our life? What do we do? Are we working out problems? Are we growing deeper in our love for each other? What are you doing towards that? What are they doing towards that? Is it worth cultivating, or is it really a weed? Okay, I remember, oh gosh, this is going back to when I was a little girl. My dad had a home, and he used to rent it out to people trying to get, a fresh start in life. And rent was extremely cheap. Like, I don't think you could have got a cardboard box for cheaper, but it wasn't the money. It didn't cost my dad anything to really rent the house out. And so he would cover like the insurance or something. And it ended up like it was extremely cheap, but it was for new people to get on their feet. People, so it was young bachelors would stay there, young couples would stay there. And there was this cute couple that lived there. And so they thought this gardening thing that my dad did was really unique. And they wanted to grow a garden just like my dad. So my dad gave them a little plot of land, and he worked it up for them, and he got them stakes and strings and seeds and plants, and away they went, and he showed them how to plant a garden. And she'd be out there every day, and she was staking the tomatoes, and she was weeding all the time, and so we noticed that she had a weed staked within the tomatoes. There wasn't a tomato there, there was an actual weed growing there. And well, we could immediately tell the difference looking at it. And I said to my dad, like, aren't we going to tell her? And he says, no. He says, I'm going to dig up one of mine. I'm going to replace it because she thinks she's growing a tomato plant. So the moral of the story is, first of all, be nice to somebody and compassionate, even if they are making a mistake in life, to approach it in the right way. But more importantly, if we just keep looking at it like a tomato plant, it's still a weed. So we really need to look at what we are cultivating within our relationships. And is it something that we want to grow into? And how are we offering ourselves? If we're single, then how are we opening the door to a relationship being in our life? What are we cultivating? What's the message? What's the signal? What's the energy we're putting out into the universe? The third week, or the third card, so towards the end of the month, sorry, I'll get better at saying what it is the more times I do it, right? It just came to me this morning, so I know where all the placements are. It's just getting the words out. We have the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords, a lot of people view as negative, and this is the card I said at the beginning. Well, there's one that you can view as negative, but I really don't think it's going to be negative. And you know, all my eyes being drawn to is that white there. Okay, the sun breaking through the clouds, that you have learned your lessons, that you walk into love with an experience, with a knowing of what you want, what you have given up in order to have that wisdom, of what you deserve going forward. So it takes relationships definitely to a deeper level, but it takes yourself to a deeper level, a deeper understanding and maturity within love that grows somehow this third week, or towards the end of the month. It's 4 weeks, so a little bit more than a week. For work, career, finances, okay, we have the Queen of Cups as our first energy, and then we have the Ten of Cups as our middle energy, and the Chariot as our ending energy. So, and then the thing that caught my eye and I hesitated on is the Ten of Cups is sitting right next to the Ace of Pentacles, which is gifts coming in, and it's in your spirituality, so it's gifts from the universe. Right next to the second week, you're happily ever after. And I think that's very strong and very potent in anybody's reading. So it kind of caught me off guard. So I would say the majority of you, the very majority of you, are going to have something very special and very unique happen, maybe within work, within money. It comes through spiritually. It comes to bring in abundance in your life, joy in your life. Maybe it's that career that you have been working so hard for. Maybe it's realizing your next step forward and what you want to do going forward. Maybe it's money coming in. I'd be watching mid-month about what comes to you. Because it could be because it's spiritual. I mean, it could be just about anything. It's magical. It's out of nowhere. It doesn't fit the grooves of how we have been working towards achieving something. It spices it up. It's that spontaneous gift from the universe that moves us forward in new directions, or gives us the ability to. So, but it's even more beautiful that we start our work and career with the Queen of Cups. First of all, love yourself. See the gifts that you have to offer. I mean, this is a time to promote yourself. This is a time to let your best shine, and I don't think it would be that hard for your best to shine when it's this card, and I'm looking at the Ten of Cups as your second one, so you're just, that energy is growing for you instead of dissipating. You're going to feel a strength in who you are and what you bring to the table. Other people should be noticing this in you. It could lead to promotion. It could lead to a new job offer. A job offer finds you. A new way of bringing in extra income comes to you. You're asked to invest in an opportunity. So now remember, we have Judgment as our first card. So Judgment is still playing a part here. Okay, we go out of the month with the Three of Pentacles, which is work, doing what we have to do. So we know that we're working towards something that's going to probably bring work into our life, but it's also going to fulfill a passion or a dream or a desire. But you first have to realize the ability in you before it can transcend to everyone else. Now, the second energy is the Ten of Cups. So you definitely shine here. You definitely glow. You are attracting good things into your life. Opportunities can be opening up to you. You make your own opportunities through other people, through connections. Okay? And it's growing your happily ever after. It's one step closer to. It's moving in the right direction. So beautiful for work, career, starting your own business, looking at new ways of investing your money, looking at how you bring value to what you spend your money on. And then the third card is the Chariot. So we get our path in front of us. This could very much be a brand new path that we have to research. We might have to go back to school, hone our abilities in some way, but we really have to focus on what is needed on our path directly forward at this point. It's not pie in the sky. It's very much a reality, and it's very much a path forward. So there's a new focus to go into. There's things that we have to strategize on. There's things that we have to plan. There's things that we have to do and we have to accomplish, which leads right back to the Eight of Pentacles, our hard work. Raising the bar on ourselves, knowing what we need to do and how to do it and how to mastermind the plan. For spirituality, we start with the Knight of Pentacles. You know, this is kind of like a knowing where you are spiritually. And you could even feel quite confident in your amount of spirituality. You could feel like, yeah, I got it. I do my 5-minute prayer in the morning. I got it. I think that's going to change as the month rolls by. Because our next card is the Ace of Pentacles, which is something new coming in spiritually into your life. It changes your perspective in some way. It sees new opportunities, new paths. You marvel at how it happened. You know that it's more than just things working out. You know that that spiritual connection was real maybe for the first time ever, like really real, like you had concrete proof real. And tapping into your spirituality, maybe tapping into it for the very first time. This is an ace, but taking it in new directions, new ways, new doors of opportunity opening up to grow your spirituality. And then we have the King of Wands at the end of the month. So now we get a higher wisdom about who we are, maybe why we're here, what our path is, the things that we need to do. This is higher learning. This is higher thought. This is an optimism. So the more that you can work on your spirituality at the beginning of the month, mid-month, the more that you'll be directed to maybe learn more, go that next level, that deeper level. Honing your skills, honing your abilities when it comes to your spirituality, or looking at new ways of incorporating spirituality into your life that it makes sense, that it fits your time restraints, it fits your personality. And you could be getting out in nature because you're sitting right in the middle of nature out there. Maybe go walk through the zoo. You know, the lions there. Go take an adventure. Something not risk-taking or life-defying. We want to use good judgment. Remember we tell, well, actually we're now into more working than the good judgment. We should always have good judgment. Well, you have high thinking here, so you have good judgment still. Maybe it's something that takes a little bit of courage to step into, to take it to the next level when it comes to your spirituality. For health, well-being, we have beautiful cards here. We have the Three of Cups as our first week. Middle of the month, we have the World card. And then, which makes sense because that is a full moon week, right? So, between the 15th and the 20th, somewhere in there, usually is, I think, the full moon, probably the 17th, 18th, 19th, somewhere in there. I should check. I know it's middle of the month. But we have the World card there. And then we have the Page of Cups as our energy leading out of the month, the end of the month. So the Three of Cups is all about joy, celebration, happiness, good news coming to you. If you have been suffering from something, maybe you get the good news that you are on the road to recovery or you're going to be feeling better. But this is just raising our vibration, raising our energy through happiness, through joy, through song, through laughter, doing the things you enjoy, doing the things you like, being creative, diving into your creativity, getting around people, enjoying the moment. This is good messages coming to you. You feeling alive, you feeling happy, you feel like you got to make up a celebration because we got to celebrate people. We got to just enjoy life kind of feeling. As we go mid-month, we have the World card. So we tone it down a little bit here and we start to think about where we are going with health, with well-being. What are we doing to incorporating a good lifestyle for us? And I think this is where we're going to let go of some baggage. It's probably going to be in our health routines, in how we care for ourselves, treat ourselves as a temple, like it should be. Treat yourself like a god or a goddess, because you're divine and beautiful. And you're going to look at what you need to leave in the past and what new beginnings to step into. This is an elevated path, our path forward. This is the next part of your journey for health, well-being. So I could see you making some resolutions to yourself on changing the way that you do things or the way you want to do things going forward. Maybe it's leaving bad habits in the past. Maybe it's incorporating new habits going forward. And then we have the Page of Cups, which makes me think that you are going into new paths forward. This is a spirituality card. So you could be honing a little bit more into your spirituality, and that gives you your feeling of well-being. You could understand that the veil is very thin because it is with this card. So isn't it funny after you go through this metamorphosis in spirituality, so to speak, where you think you kind of had a really good plan laid out with your spirituality, you knew where you sit spiritually, it kind of changes for you. And now you embrace new beginnings and you hear your angels, your spirit guides in a new way, or you could hear them for the first time, or you understand that they surround you in some way. Very much with the Ace of Pentacles, I kind of felt something happening there. Okay, for you to go, oh my gosh, that was real, that happened. I was there, I witnessed it. It couldn't have happened any other way. I could give you lots of examples in my life. We would be here for a few videos. So I won't even go there because one story just kind of trails right into the next. But just knowing that it's real, because there's no other way to be able to explain. And so you know for the first time, that's an experience all of its own. If you're new to spirituality, there's a lot of questions. Sometimes if you're old to spirituality, there's even more questions. So it's new paths, new learning experiences, new wisdom coming in. This is when a mentor could show up. So you find somebody that is also on the same spiritual wavelength or ahead of you, or maybe you're the teacher. And so you teach in a new way, or you have a new voice, or you teach for the first time. You mentor somebody else. You help them on their path of spirituality, health, and well-being. It could be through maybe yoga or something like that. Meditation. That's a beautiful health practice. Just deepening your breath. Deep breathing. That's really, if you start there, you're so much farther than most of the world. So as we leave the month, second half of the month, so say somewhere, close after probably the 20th, 15th to the 20th, we have the Three of Pentacles. And by the cards that lay out here, you are holding the paintbrush to your tomorrow. It has changed. Your path has changed in some way. And you are designing a new future for yourself. You understand the work that is there. It's not, we went from extremely hard work and knowing that we had to raise the bar to a blend of this energy. Just so where you are working extremely hard and raising the bar on yourself, there's a passion, there's a creativity, there's a flair to it in what you do. And in both cards, you don't turn away from the work. I think you strategize a little bit more on what's important here and what you actually want to work towards. Maybe you focus your energy a little bit better. And maybe that is because you raised the bar. And it could be, in your spirituality, looking at new ways of growing your spirituality. You could be signing up for a course in astrology or tarot or reading palms, tea leaves, runes. You could be looking at a Bible, looking at that a new way, reading that a new way. You could be researching angels or saints. So there's a lot of ways that you can hold this paintbrush going into tomorrow with your spirituality. So I don't think that part of the path ends so much for you. It's growing now into new beginnings. So maybe that has a lot with your world card and your new spirituality. Maybe you feel more of a vitality. Maybe you feel like more of the right people are being drawn to you towards the middle of the month to the end of the month. You look at new ways of doing things. You're making new plans. You're strategizing. You're realizing you've been through the worst parts in many ways, and new beginnings are starting to happen, and you are creating them. So until we meet again, remember, I do love you.